What's up? This is your host Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible Today and Non-Fungible Tomorrow, and today's show will mostly be about the metaverse and also the metaverse impact in Asia. So for those of you who do not know, Deloitte is actually one of the big four accounting firms. They recently published a report called the Metaverse in Asia, Strategies for Accelerating Economic Impact. So this episode will be more focused on the metaverse, a different topic about FTX, because we've been talking about FTX for quite some time, and we need a breather. So this is the report by Deloitte. I think it's an interesting read if you're based in Asia or if you're interested in the metaverse, to really have an idea of what a big firm thinks of the metaverse. So this is the executive summary. So this summary is actually, this report is actually for people who are interested, people who are decision makers who are interested in the metaverse, do not know what the metaverse is, but want to know the metaverse impact. Because according to Deloitte, the potential impact of the metaverse to GDP in Asia is around 0.8 trillion to 1.4 trillion per year by 2035, which is roughly 1.3 to 2.4 of overall GDP. So, they are treating the metaverse as something serious. As you can see that this metaverse industry could take up around 1.3 to 2.4% of the GDP in Asia. So what is this report about, right? So it is about, the metaverse, some of the potentials, the factors in Asia that could facilitate this metaverse development and the market for the metaverse. So, they kind of talked about the definition of the metaverse, the concept of a highly immersive virtual world where people gather to socialize, play, and work, right? So this is by the Merriam-Webster. So they talked about the different places. The whole report basically talks about Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, mainland China, Taiwan, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, India, and Pakistan. And they talked about how these different regions have their own strength when it comes to the metaverse industry. So what they also share is that they have been using AI art for some cover art. So it's actually very interesting to see how for different regions they created some sort of AI art for these cover art. So it's actually interesting to see how they want to put an AI, the very futuristic thing into here. So in the report, there was the executive summary. We briefly go over this just now. The potential economic impact about the metaverse in Asia. The different economies in Asia and shaping the metaverse in Asia, right? So we can quickly go through about this. They talk about what is the metaverse, the factors that must have for a metaverse, the progress towards the metaverse. They talk about the usage of these different type of metaverse type of platforms. For example, like Decentraland, Horizon World, Sandbox, Subhito, Fortnite, and also Roblox. And it seems like Roblox has the highest monthly active user right now. Okay, 202 million compared to maybe like Horizon World, Sandbox, 200K, right? So these are million compared to thousands. So you can see actually Web2 metaverse and games are actually very popular compared to Web3 platforms, right? So they talk about how hardware is needed, how communication network is needed, how blockchain is needed, how AI is needed, and also 3D real-time rendering for the metaverse that they foresee in 2035. So all of the enabling technologies, the virtual human, talk about the virtual influencers, the rise of them, and the potential economic impact of the metaverse in Asia, right? Won't go into detail, but the metaverse will lead to the creation of new marketplaces and a new type of businesses, right? They talk about how different sectors will be impacted by the metaverse. For example, entertainment, healthcare, retail, industrial, and education, right? So there's a lot of different type of touch point for the metaverse. And it kind of did a analysis of different Asian economies, right? They talk about for example, shaping the metaverse in Asia, right? If we go here, they talk about the metaverse at conclusion, right? Before they go into each specific economies, right? So the uncertainty around the future form of metaverse result in a broad range of economic impact estimate. Okay. Certain industries and regions expected to be primary beneficiaries of the metaverse with wider value generated as technology matures. Okay, so they're saying that right now it's still early, but then as time develops, certain regions or certain places in Asia will have an advantage, right? So how much potential economic impact is realized and how quickly depends on the strategy each economy adapts. There's a collective responsibility to create a responsible metaverse that mitigate the risk associated with digital technology. If designed well, the metaverse could deliver significant economic and social benefits, right? So now they talk about 12 selected Asian economies, right? For example, Hong Kong, they talk about the potential impact in Hong Kong, which is US 7 to 14 billion per year, right? They talk about the city, its strengths, and also some economic data about the population and stuff like that, and also the technological fundamentals, like whether the technology supports that metaverse technology here in Asia. So a lot of enablers they talk about and the sectors to watch are based on these individual regions. And so they talk about India as well. So all of this is pretty much the same. Indonesia with these headlines and then these specific things, how the metaverse could grow based on this different type of factors, right? Philippines and then you have Singapore. So if you're based in Asia, definitely, and if you are in one of these regions, these 12 regions, definitely check this out because it gives an idea of what a big accounting firm like Deloitte thinks about the metaverse and the size of this metaverse, and that the metaverse isn't just like a computer game, right? It isn't just a Horizon World experience, but it could be the next iteration of the internet, another space that we could hang out and would take a big part of our attention span in the near future. So when I was going through this report, I was just doing some research on my own. I found out that I forgot to mention this. So this is Microsoft. Microsoft Teams is actually the type version of Zoom, right? So in November the 2nd, so 13 days ago, they actually announced something called Mesh for Microsoft Teams. So they didn't announce it, but they kind of reiterate this, right? So in the future, when you go to Zoom meetings or Microsoft meetings, you could be in your real life person, but then at the same time, there you could be your virtual avatar. So if you look at this video, in the future, you can have meeting in a virtual space like this, and then there's live translation as well. And also for this one, I think it's worthwhile looking at this. I could voice over Mesh for Microsoft Teams. So as you can see here, the CEO of Microsoft is talking about Mesh. And then you can see, this video came out a year ago, right? And so, people are Microsoft is already doing a virtual avatar talk and also creating virtual spaces for virtual meetings. So you don't really exactly need to wear a VR glasses. Of course, it supports VR glasses, but you can actually do your calls using a virtual avatar like this, right? So basically checks my face right now, and that will be like a more immersive environment. This is actually, and then you can present, right? You can share your PowerPoint at the back. So it really gives you like a whole idea, like the significance of the metaverse, right? People will try this, right? People in the workspace is gonna try this because it's interesting, right? They're gonna be like, hey, check this out. There's a virtual experience. Oh, we can share a PowerPoint in a virtual world. And also you could have live translations, right? So I do think that watching this video will give you a better idea why Deloitte is actually quite bullish about the metaverse, and also how this whole virtual space, this new iteration of the internet, can actually create businesses. It could create a lot of opportunity, and it's not just the things that we see right now. Because the metaverse, the most important thing, in my opinion, is adoption, right? It's the idea of network effect. The more people that uses that platform, the better it is, the more valuable it is, right? So what more better to do this than having existing communication platforms like Microsoft or Zoom, Teams, or other different type of platform, maybe in Facebook, to really get the users to enter this virtual experience and build tools for users to really easily create these experiences, right? So you kind of get where I'm coming from. I just want to share this with you. You can see the video just now. So yeah, the future is exciting. So moving on to our daily programming. Market is pumping. And why is the market pumping? So yesterday the meeting with Xi Jinping and also Biden wasn't really that bad. There was some agreements, I would say. Biden says no need for a new Cold War with China after meeting with Xi. So the market is kind of optimistic. But what happened is that the core PPI numbers. So I said this is going to be very volatile. It will affect the market. The core PPI numbers came out. And what happened is that, for example, right, forecast is 0.4, 0.2 month over month. So it means that inflation could be under control because it's lower than the expected forecast. Same for month over month core PPI, right? So yesterday I say that if this one exceeds the forecast, it means that inflation is not controlled. If this is lower than the forecast, then it probably means that inflation is controlled, right? But with such bullish news too, the market is kind of, well, look at Bitcoin, right? Look at the candle charts. So you can kind of see the pump that happened, right? But all I can say, right, the market is actually very cautious. Can I say this? So This is the CZ pump, right? The CZ pump yesterday, and then dumped, and I kind of move up, and then this PPI was able to help create the spike to 70,000 Bitcoin, but then it dumped it back. So this is the PPI effect, right? This is the PPI effect. Look at the buy volume over here. So yeah, that is one of the reasons why the market kind of pumped today, right? So we are lucky, but G20 meeting is happening. Definitely that will affect. But tomorrow we have US retail sales, right? So that will be important to gauge how the market is doing. So stable coins in general, downward trend. Maybe money is moving to crypto, but in general, I think the crypto market, if you look at the total crypto market cap, it has been decreasing, right? So even though we have this pump, it doesn't mean anything. It is a more market-driven thing, but in general, people are very, very fearful of the contagion effects in the market. So right now, so people are moving to ETH, Bitcoin, and Chile's token. So I think this has something to do with the World Cup that's coming out. Chile's token. That's pretty much it, right? So crypto news: Uniswap overtook Coinbase, the second largest exchange trading Ethereum today. Liquid global HOTS withdrawal as FTX contagions continue. So a lot of these contagions are based on FTX. So FTX attacker. So I talked about how FTX was hacked yesterday, right? Still own altcoin, and recently they bought a lot of Ethereum. So yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So moving to NFT news, Yuga Labs acquired Renew Labs and welcome Wagami-san. So Renew Lab is a labs that is created by people, so this is not really surprising. But now they acquired Wagami-san, so Wagami-san may be creating Metaverse wearables in the other side, right? So at the same time, Nike Virtual Studio announced Dark Swoosh. So Nike decided to create a platform called Swoosh.Nike. So this website is not new. A while back we did cover this, right? But yesterday they officially announced that what they're gonna do with Swoosh, right? For some reason my website the website's not working on my browser. But let us just look at Artifact's post, okay? So it's a platform for Nike's virtual creation. Artifact will be continued at the edge to work with Nike. Clones will get access for Swoosh ID. Nike release will be clone digital wearables. Okay, so Vogue's business did a article about this. So basically maybe they'll come up with Nike shoes, and then these Nike shoes will have an NFT equivalent, some sort of stuff like that. Check out the article from Vogue Singapore. Won't go into too detail based on time. Blur, this is important, announced that they will enforce royalties on project that block zero royalties marketplaces, right? So if the project uses the OpenSea blacklist function, Blur will enforce that royalty. So hopefully that really shows that, hey, it isn't just OpenSea trying to blacklist other exchanges, but it really opens up this idea of respecting the creators themselves if they want to pay, and forcing people to pay the royalties, right? So Adidas own Indigo Hertz Bored Ape NFT joined Messi and Benzema and Chiesa. Okay, so it seems like I personally missed it, right? But look at this, right? It seems like catch up our final family reunion or World Cup lot on, right? So Adidas definitely you see that Bored Ape, right? So this is the Bored Ape that Adidas had, and they kind of used the IP into the video, right? So it's kind of giving exposure to the Yuga ecosystem to a certain extent. Yeah, it's interesting to see how they incorporated that. But I thought it was gonna be a virtual Bored Ape, but it's not. It's a visual on the cereal box. Oh, so is that Adidas way saying that they might have cereal in the future? But anyways, guys, that's it, guys. Stay safe if you're trading. I kind of talked about the Metaverse today. So this is your host, Non-Fungible TC. If you like the content, remember to like and subscribe. Signing out.